Hey friends, I wanted to get a video out highlighting some great time building tips. I've got a list of top five time building tips for pilots to kind of help you build up that logbook and get those hours you're looking for. I know that most of us that are looking to advance our pilot careers and move into professional aviation, you need to get that logbook full of hours, particularly looking for the 500 hours for 135 mins or all the way up to 1500 for 121 mins. So seems like we're all in that same battle trying to get those hours, and here's a couple of great ideas to help you build time. Number one, safety pilots. That's something that most of us are familiar with, where you can have another pilot join you in the aircraft and you can fly together, switching off hood time, going under the hood to simulate instrument conditions and have you both logging time simultaneously. Helps cut the cost right in half. I've done that quite a bit, and it's a great way to build your flight time and cut the cost in half. Another way to do that's kind of a similar vein, this is number two, is to fly with your friends. Sometimes you'll have friends that haven't maybe expressed an interest in flying with you, so have some friends come along, let's pick a destination, go somewhere, and your friends can chip in on the expense of the trip. That helps you get hours, also helps you bring down the cost of flying. Number three is looking for an aircraft acquisition, trying to buy into a plane. It's kind of difficult to go out on your own and acquire an aircraft. A lot of upfront investment, and so I've been able to find, in this particular case, I'm in a 182. I've got a 5-way share ownership, really a great affordable way to fly a plane at a reduced cost. In this particular case, it just so happens that the other owners really don't fly a whole lot, so that's sort of good for me because the plane is widely available. We have online reservation systems, so we can jump in the plane almost whenever we want. But again, you'll have to check on that. If you get into a share ownership, you might have bylaws and rules that you'll want to explore and make sure that there's not any restrictions on how you can operate the aircraft. Number four is kind of in that same vein, in that same place, is buying into a flight club. That's another great way to help you with your time building. Get into an aircraft, you typically would have some sort of a share investment into a club of planes, but also brings down the cost of operations. So I've done that before. I've had a prior flight club I was a member with many years ago, and this is going back, gosh, 18-20 years ago. It was a great club. At the time, I believe some of my operational expenses were about $45 an hour wet on Cessna 172s. I know we're in a different place now in 2021, but I was in a flight club. I think I paid a $4,500 share investment at the time. I was in the club for I think a little bit over a year, and ultimately when I left that club, I was able to sell my share for $5,000. So didn't lose any money on the investment, and then had highly reduced rates for flying. It's just a great way to build up that time at a highly reduced cost. So I certainly recommend you look in your area for any aircraft or flight clubs. And finally, here's another way, is looking at time building groups on Facebook and other social platforms. I happened to travel. I had a week off from work back in October, and I was traveling to Florida, and I wanted to go down there and spend some time at the beach. But while I was there, I wanted to get up in the sky, and I logged on to Facebook, found a couple of time building pages, started some conversations with some other pilots. Was very specific that I'd be in the Fort Lauderdale area of Florida, and I was able to meet up with a pilot there and fly 3 days in a row. We flew around. We did a lot of we flew instrument plans the whole time. We filed flight plans, and were able to get a lot of cloud flying. So I was able to get actual IMC time in my book, flying around Florida just back and forth. I think I logged 18 to 20 hours in that course of 3 days. Again, at a highly reduced rate. We were flying with a safety pilot in that case, and so I think my share of flying, this was a Piper Cherokee, I believe my cost of flying was $47 an hour. So again, a really great affordable way to get time in your logbook, that coveted time we're all looking for. One other thing I just wanted to mention, this is kind of a pro tip, is in terms of aviation, you should be looking, sometimes people will focus too much on the area where they live and just looking at nearby airports, but really branch out. I mean, certainly you can find pockets of the country where it's a lot less money to rent an aircraft, and so I would recommend that if you're in an area with high rents on airplanes where it's just, you know, an arm and a leg, $180 an hour to rent an aircraft, it's frankly worth your time to buy a cheap airplane ticket, an airline ticket, relocate to, you know, the Midwest or somewhere where there's a lot lower rates for renting, and again, make some contact with other pilots. Look at some time building pages on Facebook and make some connections, you know, in Kansas or Iowa or wherever you might find lower rental rates, and get out there and get some time in your book. You know, some of those outfits that rent aircraft also have block time options, so you can perhaps buy in advance 20-hour blocks of time, and they might give you a discount. So anyway, I hope that helps. These are some ideas that I've been able to put together to help build time, and you know, I know we're all looking for those valuable hours in our logbooks. I'm coming up right now just a couple hours away from 500 hours, so looking forward to hitting 135 mins and see where that takes me. Anyway, I hope you like the content. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below, and if you like the content, please subscribe. Thanks.